My name is Kevin Whitnoff. I'm a 2020 ACS Next Generation leader and just graduated from Vanderbilt Law School. I joined ACS for two main reasons. First, I wanted to support ACS's mission in ensuring that the law is a force for good in the lives of all people. Second, I wanted to expose myself to brilliant and fascinating people whose paths and work inspire me to push myself and use the privilege of my legal education for the most good. I imagine that many of you here today joined ACS for similar reasons. This afternoon's speaker, Judge Luis Felipe Restrepo, personifies both of those tenets of my ACS involvement. A native of Medellin, Colombia, Judge Restrepo graduated from the University of Pennsylvania and Tulane Law School. After serving as a public defender in Philadelphia, Judge Restrepo was a partner at Krasner and Restrepo until being appointed a magistrate judge for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. He served in that position until 2013, when President Barack Obama nominated him to be a district court judge in the same district. Judge Restrepo was then nominated to serve on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit in 2016, where he serves today. Judge Restrepo has spent his career fighting to make the law a force for good in the lives of all people. He is the recipient of countless awards for his service to indigent clients and serves as a commissioner on the U.S. Sentencing Commission. I am so grateful that he's here to address us today. Please join me in welcoming the brilliant and accomplished Judge Restrepo.
Kevin, thanks for the generous introduction, but I do need to correct the record. I'm not a member of the Sentencing Commission. I was nominated, but it didn't quite work out a couple of times. Thanks nevertheless. And a big thanks to Megan and Senator Feingold for including me in today's activities. It's really an honor to be with you all today. Congratulations to the ACS class of 2021, and recognizing that nobody graduates from law school without a lot of help. I'd like to acknowledge the parents, spouses, partners, faculty, family, supporters, and everybody else that made this day possible. Graduates, I am you a generation removed. 35 years ago, I found myself sitting where you are today. And although I've had a good run since I graduated from law school and have no regrets, part of me is envious of you, of all the stories yet to be written and all the wonderful possibilities that lie ahead. And as happy as I was to have graduated from law school, I felt the same angst many of you share today. The bar exam, debt, employment, and quite frankly, many of us were not really sure that after years of study, we really wanted to be lawyers when it was all said and done. I'm here to tell you it will be okay. In fact, it will be much better than okay. Your legal education will serve you well, regardless of where you find yourself many years into the future. If you'll indulge me, I'd like to share some thoughts on lawyering, citizenship, and life from the perspective 35 years removed from graduation. I'll start with what you might find in your anxiety closet. As for the bar exam, treat bar prep like a job. Stay focused, practice taking the exam under time pressure, and you'll be fine. Most importantly, do not panic. Manage your debt. Pay it off as quickly as possible and live beneath your means. This will allow you to pursue less conventional career paths. I've learned that some of the best jobs in the law pay the least. I can only assume that some of you have yet to find a job. Relax, you will. I didn't have a job when I graduated from Tulane Law School. I secured an internship with the National Prison Project, the ACLU's National Prison Project, several months after graduation. The real value of your law degree is the opportunities it will give you in terms of where it will take you and what you can do with it. Take pride and comfort in the knowledge that your legal education will give you the opportunity to do well by doing good. And notwithstanding conventional wisdom that can at times be highly critical of our profession, know that there is great virtue in being an attorney. It's a profession of honor and distinction. How you ultimately define your career is limited only by your integrity, energy, enthusiasm, and imagination. Hold on to your idealism. Volunteer to do pro bono work. Engage in your community. Be a champion for the less fortunate, the marginalized, and the weak. Give back. Find ways to give back. You'll be glad you did. It will make you a stronger person and a better attorney. As Justice Holmes once noted, those who aspire to engage in the greatness of the profession must first immerse themselves in the agonies of the times. You will soon be officers of the court in your respective jurisdictions. Time has chosen you to be the guardians of our Constitution. You must stand up and defend the rule of law. It's the bedrock of our democracy and what distinguishes the United States from the rest of the world. I, like all naturalized citizens of the United States, have a keen appreciation of how difficult it can be to attain US citizenship and how special citizenship in the United States is. It took me 31 years to become a US citizen. I've taken 3 oaths of fidelity to the Constitution of the United States in my various capacities as a federal judge. None more important or meaningful than the oath of citizenship I took in Philadelphia on September 7th, 1993, 31 years after my family arrived to the United States from Colombia. The rule of law and the independence of our judiciary are the cornerstones of our democracy. Practicing law is a privilege, and with privileges come responsibilities. Your first responsibility as an attorney is to be an engaged member and an active participant in our democracy. Democracy is not a spectator sport. We all have an obligation to cultivate our democracy. Democracy is not a zero-sum game, and it is not about where you identify on the political spectrum. Lawyers must ensure that there's a place for all manner of ideology and speech consistent with our Constitution and the rule of law. Lawyers must lead by example and be role models in terms of what it means to be an engaged citizen. Register to vote and vote in every election. Teach civics to your family and friends. Give your time, talent, and treasure to candidates and causes you believe in. Engage in the process, but do so respectfully. You will no doubt disagree with one another. Dissent is healthy when done in the spirit of offering constructive solutions to common problems. Never, ever take it for granted what a privilege it is to practice law in this country at this time in our history. Focus on being a problem solver. Look for and find common ground. Much of what you've been taught in law school is critical thinking and making logical arguments. These skills will serve you well, but learn to listen. Your reputations as attorneys start here and now. Be a good person, be respectful, be on time, and be honest. Appreciate that as attorneys, you come from a position of privilege, but don't act that way. Take chances and push yourself outside your comfort zone. I am beyond confident that 30 years from now, you will not regret that you took a chance. You will regret not having done so. In my case, I left the office of the Federal Public Defender for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, a job that I consider among the best jobs an attorney could have, to start a very small civil rights and criminal defense practice. There was no guarantee of income, but it all worked out, and I'm glad I took that chance. You don't want to ask yourself and wonder, what if? Take risks and don't be afraid to fail. My entire legal profession is predicated on rejection. Or I should say my entire legal career is predicated on rejection. When I applied to be a defender in Philadelphia the first time, the answer was no. I was eventually offered the position. When I applied to be a federal defender, I was told, not now. I reapplied and was fortunate enough to get the job. I applied for the position of U.S. Magistrate Judge twice before I was offered the position the third time I applied. It took me several attempts to secure a nomination as a U.S. District Judge, and eventually the political pieces fell into place. I tell you this because you will all have to deal with some level of professional rejection. Do not let it define you. It's how you respond to adversity and rejection that will define your career and in many respects your life. I love being a lawyer. I was a public defender for 6 years in state and federal court. I was in private practice for 13 years. Most of what I did was represent individuals that could not afford counsel, accused of the most egregious crimes by local, state, and federal authorities, many of whom could not speak English, as well as those victimized by the system. I worked my entire career as an attorney arguing against the government, representing people on the fringes of society, and I made a living doing this. Nowhere else in the world is this possible. Allow me to touch on a few life lessons I've learned along the way that come from the perspective of a husband married to a lawyer and the father of 4 children. Don't let money become the most important thing in your life. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. Or as Maya Angelou put it, if you earn, give. If you learn, teach. You can do well and do good at the same time. This is not a binary choice. You need to take care of yourself, exercise and sleep. It may sound cliche, and I'm not suggesting you train for an Ironman, but I am suggesting you do something to find balance. It can be as simple as taking a walk. If you have children or will have children, make time to be with them when they are with you. Be home for dinner. Listen to what your children have to say. Get to know their friends. Be patient with them and be patient with yourself. Parenting is hard. It's probably the hardest thing you'll ever do. It's also among the most important. Do the simple things. Put the phone away. Offer to drive the carpool. Turn off the radio and listen to the conversations. Pick up after the game or the movies. Coach. Make time. Be there. Maintain and nurture relationships with your family and friends. The most valuable thing you can share with others is your time. Relationships, like everything else in life, require effort. It's well worth the investment. Lawyers read a lot. Find time to read material you don't have to read. Find something that brings you joy and pursue it. Be a good person. Be kind. Be respectful of everyone you meet along the way, and be humble. You each have much to be proud of and even more to look forward to. You now share the privilege and responsibility of membership in the legal community. Your legacy as an attorney begins today. I wish you only the best, a fulfilling career, a life of great joy, and the peace of mind that comes with knowing you left the world a better place than you found it. ACS class of 2021, congratulations. It's been an honor to be with you.